on what is probably one of the hottest days of the year. But I won't be typically British and moan about this terrible weather. Honestly, I'm melting. I'm trying to make myself look good for Nadia Sawalha, one of my favourite all-time loose women. I mean, she's just absolutely brilliant. She's brilliant on Instagram. She's brilliant on YouTube, where she has a sort of family-run channel. You have to go and see her. She's got loads of subscribers. And today we are here to celebrate the fact that she is taking part in a Pantene campaign, which is all about ageism and the sort of preconceptions we have around menopausal women and women going through hair journeys and the menopause. Let me just see if I've got her. She's not in here yet. Let me just invite her. Anyway, what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for her to join me is I'm going to put a link down below to where you can see the campaign pictures, because Nadia is part of the campaign and she's taken part in this photographic campaign, which is incredible. And it's a celebration of menopausal women and their different hair journeys. And oh my God, it's been taken by Elizabeth Hoff, who has taken so many of my pictures, and I love, she's just a brilliant photographer. So you've got Nadia with her gorgeous curls, you've got another lady with this really cool grey crop. Anyway, tonight we're going to talk about preconceptions around what it's like to be menopausal, how it affects your hair, why people hear so much judgment about their hair. So I'm being told all the time, cut your hair off, you're too old for that hair. Are we too old to have this hair? Now, we're going to be talking around that campaign. I want you to have a look at the pictures because they're beautiful. They're on the Pantene UK site. It's to celebrate the launch for a new range, which, can I say, is called Hair Biology. And for the first time in my memory, as a beauty editor of 30 years, has actually got the word menopause on it. So we're not trying to hide from this now. And it's basically specifically formulated for the things that women go through when they have difficult hair problems. It's refusing Nadia. It can't refuse Nadia. She's one of.
Hello.
How are you?
I was being refused. I was starting to get a bit. I was getting feelings.
Starting to take it personally.
It just kept saying, "No, you can't. You're being refused." Lovely to see you. Hi.
So good to see you. Now, I have to say, I did see on your stories a picture of a pool. Please tell me I haven't interrupted a holiday anywhere.
It was a flashback.
Oh.
It was a throwback.
Okay.
No, I'm in boiling hot South London. I was just listening to you though, and I hadn't thought of it like that. What you just said, isn't it great to see menopause on the blooming? Do you know what? I hadn't thought of that. Because
listen, I've been a beauty editor for 30. I've been a beauty editor for 30 years. The skirting around the word menopause is embarrassing. And honestly, these products only arrived today, so I haven't had the chance to test them. But I love the fact the Hair Biology range has got menopause written on it. No shame in our game.
No shame in our game. In fact, just last week, we were doing, on the telly, I was talking about this. I was talking about menopause. And oh my God, the response that we got from the amount of women, because the symptoms are massive. I read out a list this long of all the things that you can be feeling and going through and not having a clue that you're perimenopausal or menopause. And we had so many people get in contact going, oh my God, I'm not going mad. You know, I've put on weight, I'm raging at everybody, I've got these sweats, or I'm bleeding, or my skin went so dry when I went into the menopause. Like, I literally felt like my whole body was cracking up. That's what it felt like. I had no idea it was the menopause.
Well, you're a year younger than me, right? So let's get personal here. How old were you when you think you went through the menopause? I mean, not think, because we have a last period. I was in denial for years, Nadia.
Yeah. Well, my friend Kay Adams, you know, a loose woman, she was in complete denial. She was actually pretending to me she still had periods when she didn't. Can you believe that? That's how bad she is.
And your best mate.
She pretended because there was so much shame. You know, there's shame. I think we've all done a lot to change that, actually, because when I first went into the menopause, when I was getting the first perimenopausal things going on, there was just, we were banned from talking about it. We were banned from talking about it on television because, so I had no idea what it was. We don't get educated about it at school. GPs, it's a module they can decide to do or not. It just fascinates me that something 50% of the population go through. No, we don't know anything about it. That's why I love this research that Pantene have done that shows that 50% of people have totally ageist ideas and connotations and labeling with menopause, like, oh my god, you know, hysterical woman, oh, dried up prune, all these things. So no wonder we're coming out of it now, we were all so almost secretive about it. You know, I thought I had Alzheimer's, I thought I had cancer, I thought I had absolutely everything and anything other than the menopause.
It's really interesting because I have to say I never spoke to my mum about it ever. So I feel like it's something that mums should pass on to daughters. But my mum obviously is 85. She's very private about all parts of her body she doesn't want to talk about. But I'm about 10 years older than all my friends. And I've gone out of my way to be really gobby about it. And my friends who are now in their mid-40s all say to me, thank you for talking about it. Now I know what to expect. And I've got a couple of friends now in their mid-40s, and they keep coming up to me going, I've got these symptoms. What do you think? Do you think I'm perimenopausal? Because I think I probably started to get symptoms when I was about 45, 46, to be honest.
Yeah. And what were your first symptoms then? Were they more physical or mental?
Well, this is really interesting. So first of all, they were physical, and I was blaming duvets and boyfriends and all that sort of stuff. And then I started to get, and I always pride myself on being quite emotionally stable. And I remember seeing a doctor and explaining my symptoms. She said, yeah, you're having hormone-induced panic attacks. And that's when I
awful.
Yeah. And that's when I started to think, right, okay, so if I'm going to carry on working for the next 20 years of my life, which I enjoy and I want to do, and that's when I started taking HRT. And to me, it was a game changer. It really was.
So when did you start taking HRT?
When I was 47. So I've been on it for 12 years now.
So wonderful. I see. I only started it about 8 months ago, after 8 years of being in menopause, because if I'm honest, I was one of those. I mean, I treated it homeopathically for a long while, and it dealt very well with my sweats and all of that. But I didn't realize how much I changed, and how I'd forgotten that I didn't used to be an anxious person, and forgotten that I liked sex. You know, it was like, you'd say sex, you might as well say potato, because the two were the same things. You know, it was just like, and going on HRT finally after 8 years, oh my God, it's completely changed my life. You know, it really, really, really has. So I'm a great one for urging people to just look into it more, because a lot of what we thought about it isn't true anymore. It's come on a lot.
And I was going to say that. So I remember, because so as well as being a beauty journalist, I was a health journalist for years. And luckily enough, I've got no female cancer history in my family, so no breast cancer and all the contraindications of why you wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
So I'd done all my research, so I was ready to take it by the time I was 47. I have to admit, somebody saying, what is HRT? It's hormone replacement therapy. So you take the estrogen and progesterone that your body no longer makes. And I have to say, within 5 days, I felt like me again. That's the only way.
The thing is, it's like, it's Dr. Louise Newson said to me, the menopause doctor, she said, you're deficient in a hormone that is vital for your body to function. If I said to you now you were deficient in vitamin C, you'd be running to the shop, oh, I'm feeling terrible because I'm deficient in vitamin C. I must have loads of vitamin. And yet we don't have that same connection as women, you know, and there's so many other things that you can do to support your menopause. And again, that's why this research has been so great by Pantene, because the more that we find out the fears that people have around it, the prejudice that people have around it, the less suffering in silence that women have to go through, you know, and that's why I'm just such a passionate advocate always to talk about it.
When I saw that you were part of this campaign, and before you came on, I was talking about the amazing photo shoot you did with one of my favourite photographers, Elizabeth Hoff. I love her.
She's great.
I just absolutely love seeing women my age reflected black, and a celebration of different types of hair. Now, obviously, Pantene is a hair company. They do amazing products. They've obviously got the hair biology range, menopause clearly written on it. But what I didn't know, genuinely, until I started researching this, because when I put questions up to my followers, everybody just came back going, she has the most gorgeous hair. Tell me the secrets of those curls. Oh my God, her skin's amazing. Like, big fans out there. I had no idea though that your hair had suffered through this journey. Tell me about it. What happened?
Oh God, well, I've had loads of problems with my hair. There's actually, I used to have such thick hair that you couldn't even get a band around it. Thick hair. And I started to lose my hair. Well, obviously I was perimenopausal. I didn't realize at the time, but I started to lose my hair. The thing is now, even now, you know, yes, my hair looks much better than it was years ago because I started using, you know, different products for my hair. Because always before I could do anything to it, I would just rub a bit of something in it and just go out and leave it. And it would just, even if it was raining, it was like, oh, brilliant, I'm going to get curlier hair. You know, and I really took it for granted. And then, of course, as you would know very well, when you go into menopause, your hair, the actual hair shaft changes.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. I think my actual individual hairs became thinner. I was losing my hair. It was hugely traumatic for me, and also difficult because I know people look at me and say, "Oh, but you've got so much hair," but I still had, like, I'd lost a third of the hair that I had. It was actually shown with, they did these pictures of the magnify, you know, when they magnify, and they I remember the guy showing me saying, you see these hair follicles, they're closed, and they're closed forever, you know, and just being like petrified. Because actually, because for years, I'm much better now, but for years, because I really suffered with body image and all of that, my hair was always the thing I just relied on. My hair was always okay, and I would hide behind my hair. And so it was one of the many things that I just found so hard going into menopause. I was so depressed. You know, my hair was thinner, it was more brittle. Because it's going whiter, it was also changing. I was losing the curls. So then I got into that mess of like curling my hair with curling tools. I always had natural ringlets, and I felt really bad about curling it. And then the more I curled it, the less it would curl. And actually, I really started to neglect everything about myself. I was just slapping any old thing on I've got cleanser, I'll use that as a moisturizer as well. I was really like down with myself, not looking after my hair, my skin, my body, nothing. Exercise, whereas I suppose I wouldn't like to say depression, but I was very down, the most down I've ever been in my life. So I took a really three-pronged attack, actually. Eventually, I just, you know, I wish I'd gone to HRT, but I used natural remedies. I started to exercise more, eat better, because of course eating and what you eat is so important for your hair. It's so important.
It's really interesting because the two most common causes for women of thinning hair and hair loss are hormonal disruptions, obviously, because you think about pregnancy and you think
Absolutely.
about, I mean, the hormone journey we're going on is so natural, and yet nobody talks about it. So we talk about puberty, we talk about pregnancy, but nobody talks about menopause. But the other thing is a lack of stored iron, ferritin levels. And it's unbelievably common for women to have that, especially as a lot of women tend not to eat a lot of red meat as well. So,
well, it's funny, isn't it? I don't know if you found this, but as I went into menopause, I don't like protein as much. I found it really difficult to, like, I used to be able to eat like a chicken leg, well, half a chicken, and now I'm just have a bit.
I'm a carb fiend now. That's hormonally driven as well.
I never met a carb I didn't fall passionately in love with.
You're my kind of people, Nadia.
And I was doing a classic thing where I was making all these lovely meals for my family, but I just found myself walking around having another bit of bread, having another bit. So a bit like when I was breastfeeding, actually, when you just eating biscuits just to keep your like energy up, and you just get into this vicious cycle of not caring for yourself properly. And we deserve to. This is our time.
No, and it's that lack of energy when you go through the menopause as well, which does make you tend to rely on sugar and carbs rather than all the things we should be eating, which is lean protein. And somebody actually did ask, do you take supplements as well? Are you a fan of supplements? Were you ever prescribed supplements for your hair loss or anything like that at all?
Well,
or a change of diet?
I'm one of those people that goes to very, very brilliant people that are extremely expensive, and then I buy things and then I take them twice. So I've never properly experimented, and I would like to, because it's interesting what you say about the iron, because I forgot about it. I think I'm very low. I think I'm often very low in iron, but I'm quite religious with vitamin D. I think vitamin D is kind of even beyond a vitamin, isn't it? They say it's more.
Yeah, it's basically a human steroid, to be honest. Yeah. And it's involved in your immune system. It's so important. And the government says we should all supplement with vitamin D every day.
Do you know, in Australia, they give it to people for free. Every single person gets free vitamin D because they hide from the sun. But so vitamin D and vitamin C. And then I've got an array of fabulous. I mean, if you came in, you go, oh my God, look at her. She's so incredible. Her vitamin D. Don't actually take them.
I take supplements very sporadically.
I've got to be
I
better.
suddenly go
So I
crazy
want to
for
work
them,
on.
and then I forget to take them. If I feel better, then I forget to take them. I'm one of those people.
But this on this the products that I know that you got today. This is
Which ones are your favourites? Let's go through them.
This is my hero one. This is the hair thickening and scalp soothing. Because as we were saying earlier, if you haven't had your menopause yet, guys, one of the lovely things that comes along with menopause is the dry skin, which of course also affects your scalp. And so this is like a thickening serum, and but it's not like, when I say, but it's kind of, it's not like thicky and cloyy. You spray
it's almost more like water on the scalp, isn't
it?
So how do you use it? So you shampoo and then use it?
I'd use it on dry hair or on wet hair, straight into the root. I don't blow dry my hair anymore or curl it. I let all the curl come out. No, I'm one of those, I do the t-shirt with the conditioner in my hair. That's how I get my curl out. But I think it's I mean, you would know more about the technical reasons as to why it works, but it just creates, it says here, creates the look of 6,500, I love the 6,500 more hair fibers and soothes the scalp. So it literally does. And it's just like, because I've never met a woman that doesn't want to put something into the root of her hair. You sit in the hairdressers and you hear, can you do something with them? And I find
somebody
it
just
really...
asked to see it again, so I'm just showing it here, and it's called Hair Biology. It's the Pantene Hair Biology Menopause range, and it's the hair thickening and scalp soothing. When I looked at the ingredients, because you know me, I will look at the ingredients. It's almost like a skin serum for dry skin, but for your scalp. So it's loaded with really lovely humectants to moisturize your scalp. I mean, I'm sure you don't, but I get quite a lot of sort of I want to say dandruff, and I think it would work brilliantly on that. They've only just arrived, so I haven't tried them, but I'm really looking forward to trying these. So that's the everyday shampoo and conditioner, and there's also a mask in the range as well.
And I was going to say, try the mask. Now it says on here to use to just leave it on a couple of minutes, but I'm one of those, I put it on and I leave it and I forget about it. I quite like to put the mask on overnight, and then if I'm filming the next day, I just rinse it off in the morning, and then I just put a bit of conditioner back in and just scrunch with a t-shirt, never a towel curls, a t-shirt.
Tell me about the t-shirt thing. I'm sorry.
It's so weird. I don't know why it is. It's the curly girl method. It's not mine. It's something I saw on YouTube that I think millions of people use. I kept hearing about it for years, and I was just like, what's that? You know, I had no idea and just didn't even look into it, which was really silly because it actually got my curls back without having to use, because I got into this curling tong thing, which of course is the last thing you want to do. You know, when your hair's thinning.
The thing is, what you're doing with any sort of form of heat is you're taking your natural curl, straightening it, and then recurling it, but in a different format to your original curl. So none of these products weigh down your curls, because I know girls that do the curly girl method. They're desperate. They want conditioners and they want shine, but they don't want to weigh down their curls. So these products don't weigh your curls down or anything like that.
And the thing is, depending on how much your like my hair on my skin absorbs a lot. Like makeup artists always say, oh my god, where did that go? They put the foundation on and I just suck it up. So for different people, so you just rinse it off a bit. You get to know what feels right in your hair. And some days I might put conditioner on and leave it all on, and other days I might rinse it and just let it, just let it stop. Sort of, I'll rinse it off at the top, just let it stop at the bottom.
So for everybody who was asking, and lots of my followers were asking, you're a curly girl method person. Stop using towels, start using t-shirts.
I don't use towels. Yeah, there's lots of these towel things that you can buy, but actually these special t-shirt towels, but actually just use an old t-shirt. My husband gets so annoyed.
I was going to say,
Mark, and they're all his like favorite t-shirts, because he buys these quite expensive ones that are really thin and they work really well. And the other thing is, try as much as you can not to use heat. Every so often, like if I'm filming or I'm doing a shoot and they've got to dry my hair, then fine, but mostly my rule is I don't put any heat onto my hair.
And have you worried about, I presume you don't colour your hair, or do you colour your hair?
I do. I'm very white.
I'm like 50% grey.
Yeah, no, so am I.
Are you?
Absolutely. And that's why my hair changed texture so much. No, I'm so white. I mean, I slapped a bit of colour on here in the front yesterday, and it's a bit like, but no, yeah, I do.
Do you
and I don't know.
DIY colour your own hair?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
My most hated thing is going to the hairdressers.
I love you. I
one
hate
thing
going
I
to the
hate
hairdressers. What is
is
wrong with
sitting.
us?
It takes half a day. You have to sit looking at yourself all day. I might go in there like feeling quite good about myself and leave feeling awful. Because in the past, I've asked hairdressers, why do you put a blind on the mirror so that those that don't want to look at themselves for hours can pull the blind down?
But also, why, can I just ask why hairdressers have the most unflattering bloody lighting in the history of lighting?
That and changing rooms.
I defy Kate Moss to go to the hairdressers and not come out and go, oh, that was a bad day.
It isn't it?
It's
in
weird,
the world
right?
of ring lights, why wouldn't you get a ring light system?
Yes. Trust me, I totally agree. So I also colour my own hair because also by the time you get as grey as I am, your roots appear every 2 weeks. I can't be faffed to go into the hairdressers. I really can't.
Exactly.
But have you worried about the judgment? Because I was saying before you joined, I get a lot of judgment on if I grow my hair. You're too old to have that hair. Chop your hair off. Do you ever have any of that sort of judgment or not?
It's really interesting, isn't it? That because that's one of the things that came up in this Pantene research, wasn't it? That the labels that people attribute to that to people's hair, like
according to the study of the Pantene study, 48% of women felt that they couldn't have the hairstyle they wanted because they feared that they were too old to have the hairstyle they wanted.
Well, there is a real thing about women being a certain age and their hair being a certain length. And it must just come from, I mean, really, we are supposed to just slope off and be quiet. You know, once you want to mental. If you think about it, we were supposed to die at around 45, 50. We'd had babies. We were no longer any use. We'd lost our juice. So, and so we've got to understand there's still a lot of that subconsciously hanging around, you know, and it's like long hair is meant for youth. You know, it's supposed to be, you know, it's the joys of being youthful is having long hair. I mean, never to my face. Has anyone said anything about that? But I'm sure people have said it, will have said it behind my back. But I have actually my own prejudices. I impose my own prejudices. And actually, when Stacey first came to Loose Women, she used to say that all the time. She really made me think about myself because she would say, because I just used to you know, these things would just trot off my tongue. You know, oh, well, I can't do that because I'm this age. Well, I can't do. And she kept saying, why do you say that? It's really weird. I've noticed you say that. Why do you say that? And she really questioned me and she wouldn't let it go. And I would start, so then I would start really questioning myself. And I did learn, because also bringing up daughters, I actually was shown my own reflection back at myself, bringing up my daughters, talking to younger presenters like Stacey, and them showing me that actually what I was saying and the way I was treating myself and the way I was talking to myself, so negative. And then, of course, you allow other people to do it. So I work very, very hard now at just, my hardest thing is like when somebody compliments me, I literally, there's 15 other words that come into my head before I say thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I've had to work so hard at that. And I've had to work hard at not going, oh, I'm a menopausal woman in a derogatory way.
And I think it's really interesting. As I said, we are same age. I'm a year older than you. But I do feel that by us having this conversation now, by the time that the people who are in their mid-40s have to go through this conversation, hopefully they won't have that negative internal narrative of, am I too old for this? Yeah. Should this be age appropriate?
Oh, we can change. We are changing right now. Every time a conversation goes on like this, we are changing the narrative. That's a really, really exciting thing to be a part of, to think. I mean, I know I've spoken to many younger women now about the menopause, and I know that I've given them a better chance than I had when I was going through this, and that just bleeds through. That's an interesting choice of words. Bleeds or not. And it will just keep going through. My girls have heard everything about the menopause now. I mean, my God, they could probably write a thesis on the menopause.
And
I knew nothing.
As I said, I feel the same about my friends, and I know that my sister and I will be different because we speak about it openly in front of my niece. But it's very interesting. You actually started your YouTube channel around the same time I started mine as well. Oh. And you're very honest and open. You're very funny on Instagram. You're very authentic on Instagram. And I feel that in some small way that you and I doing what we're doing are sort of pioneers within social media, because you can't be what you can't see. And the biggest compliment I get, and I'm sure it's the same with you, is And I never take it. I speak really honestly and openly about how old I am. But the biggest compliment I get is, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. I thought getting old was scary, but it's not.
Oh,
And
that's
I
such a
love
lovely
that.
thing. And I love that what you just said. You can't be what you can't see. And I think, yeah, I really love that. I might nick that one from you. But,
Feel free. I
you know,
stole it from somebody else, Nadia. Don't worry. And you know, it's
when-
very interesting. I remember interviewing Helen Mirren once for my YouTube channel. And I remember sitting down and I thought, she won't know who the hell I am. And I said to her, can I just say before we start filming, because she was on one of those back-to-back interviews where she didn't get introduced to anybody. I said, I run a YouTube channel and it's for older women. And she stopped me and she went, you're not old. And that's the moment I realized age is also a matter of perspective.
Yes.
So by me saying I'm old, what does that say to people who are 20 years older than me or 10 years older than me?
You're just a 360-degree woman. We are constantly aiding people to put us in boxes. And, you know, I was just talking this morning about when I look at my Instagram page and I see that I'm standing there in my pants and in my bra, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I had all of my adult life, I hid all of it. And to be a part of this group, and there are many of us now that are just going, actually, it's not the end of the world. There is so many other things that I want to be improving, I want to be thinking about. And by just going, yes, and you know, and just talking in the way that we talk, you do help other people. And that's, I mean, I know it sounds a bit, but it's quite a privilege to be able to do that. It
really is. And
I have somebody go, oh, you made me feel a bit better. That's a lovely thing.
I was going to say, if you can make one person realise that the way they look is normal, then that's a good day well done. I'll never forget one of the first videos I ever saw of you was Kay and you on the beach. And Kay was going, no, put a swimming costume on or a bikini and go out in the beach. Like, stop hiding yourself away. Do it. And from that moment on, you two have always been my favourite. I've just loved it. I really have. I really have.
Thank you.
Now,
She's
I
still
promised
taking
I
the
would
pill out of
keep
me.
you to under half an hour, so I'm going to let you go, because I know, just like Helen Mirren, just like Dame Helen Mirren, you've got back-to-back appointments. Is there anything else? Is there anything else you'd like to say before you sign off? Because thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed it.
What I would like to say is, thank you for having me, because I've really loved it. I'd love to say to all you guys that are here, please, please, please don't suffer in silence. If you feel that there is something going on for you that doesn't feel quite right and symptoms are piling up and your GP isn't really listening to you, just look into the menopause more. There's lots of brilliant sites. The one that I go to is the menopause website, and there's so much information on there. And look after yourself. This is the time. I spent too long not looking after my skin, not looking after what I was eating, not looking after my hair, not looking after all this thing, because I felt so down on myself, and actually it just exacerbates it. This is your time. We've spent a lifetime looking after everybody else. This is your time, and there is a way to feel empowered. There is, and to really, really enjoy the next few decades.
Well, I think also, for me, it's important to say that, and it's a cliche, getting older is a privilege that's not afforded to everybody. And can we talk about just how completely bloody liberating, sorry, wrong use of the word again there, not having periods is? If
because you don't have as much estrogen
through having really bad periods,
yeah,
trust me, it's totally liberating. It really is. It is. And I agree. I'm like you. I think that the secret is, don't be in denial about it. Read everything you can. You've got the advantage of Google and so many amazing doctors out there, so many amazing women who are our age and 10 years younger who are going through it and are talking about it. Companies like Pantene who are talking about it for the first time ever. And I just think that's
brilliant.
So empowering and so embracing. It really is. And I just love it. And just remember, no matter how bad you feel, you're in it with Nadine and Nadia as well.
We've done it. We're through the other side. And many other companies follow Pantene in actually taking this seriously, because 50% of the population go through it, guys. Don't ignore us.
50% of the population. And not only that, I did some research this morning because somebody asked me to do some research about women over 50. Women over 50 basically have all of the discretionary ad spend, and we're desperate to spend it on ourselves. So ignore us at your peril, beauty brands. Ignore us at our peril. Thanks, Nadia. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, my darling. And bye,
Lots of
everybody.
love. See you soon. Bye.
Bye, honey.